I got this broken down. I forgot. Hey, y'all. Come on in. Hey, everybody. Oh, y'all coming in here kind of quick. Hey, y'all. Okay, let me not wipe my eyebrows because I already put my milk of magnesia on my brows. And they was looking good. Thank you, Kathy. Y'all, I gotta put I'll be putting the hair details in the description box down below because I actually really do like this hair curl pattern. This hair is actually like, it's really pretty. The curls are fire. And the company shipped it really fast. And I have a video coming on this hair this week that was postponed because I had, yeah, I'm gonna leave this live up. Probably not permanently, I haven't decided yet, but at least until the end of the week, probably. But yeah, I have a video coming for this hair that I had to postpone because the other week I had COVID, and I'm like 100% sure that it was the new variant because the way that it was handing it to my ass and the way that I was getting my ass kicked, and then along with all my symptoms and stuff, I was just like, bro, this cannot be the first release. Like this gotta be the second one. Yes, everybody who was in the chat already, go ahead and hit the like button so we can get more people to find my channel. And I am going to get into it in just a second because, again, you guys are in here pretty quick today. So, yes. Yeah, I'm sorry. I've been putting this rollerball perfume on my neck because it smells so good, but it be breaking me out so bad. So in the back of my neck, I am just scratching. Okay. So I know the title seems like hella dramatic. This actually is not gonna be like a super emotional video or anything because that's just not my vibe. Not saying that anybody else is wrong, that's their vibe. I'm one of those people, I be laughing through the pain. I'm not one of those people that's that y'all are probably ever gonna see get up here and be emotional, honestly. So what inspired this though was I was literally like, y'all, when I say I hopped on here so quick just now, I was not planning to go live today. I was going to wait until probably like, you know, later on in the day or later on in the week because I was gonna go live about like the baby situation and stuff because I'm like, oh gosh, he just be rubbing me all types of the wrong way lately. But originally that's what I was gonna be my live on, but I was on Twitter, and I don't know if any of y'all follow this Twitter page. Her name is Olani Baby, I think that's her name. And okay, I had to make sure it was cutting on. And on her Twitter, she always has these threads, just like super relatable threads for women, basically, is what I always see on her Twitter. And I follow her on Twitter because I really like her threads. They be mad interesting. So that is where the title of this came from, like the first part of this title, because I was reading these stories and I even responded. I didn't know she had that she did the same thing on IG. I gotta go check her. I don't follow her on IG, but because I originally found her on Twitter or whatever. But I was reading these stories and I was like, damn, like I can relate to these. Like, and not only was I like, I can relate to these, I was like, yo, I commented my story under it as well. Granted, I literally just did it before I got on here, so I'm sure people haven't really seen it like that. And then also when I did, and if y'all see me look over, it's because I wrote down some talking points so that I could make sure I don't forget anything. But basically, when I originally told the story about my toxic ex and how I was getting cheated on, all this stuff on YouTube, I told the story as I was going the through the things I was going through. And I also told the story from a point of somebody who, at the time when I told part one, not part two and not part three, but at the time that I told part one, I was coming from the standpoint of somebody who was still actively dealing with this person, didn't want any help, didn't want any advice. I even said that in the video, because I, at that time, had not decided to leave. Which I was doing myself a disservice, and if I could go back and talk to that self, like that person, I definitely would have convinced her to leave earlier and like, sis, love yourself. But you know, we've all been through it or whatever. And I'm glad that people in the comments were never like super mean or super just like nasty towards me or whatever. Because I think a lot of people could relate, because a lot of us have been there before. So because I was coming from that standpoint when I originally told the story, there was a lot of things that I left out in order to protect the image of that person, because at the time I was still dealing with that person. So now that it's been, man, I stopped dealing with that person in March of, let's see, May 2020, I moved back up here to New York. So that would have meant that I stopped dealing with them like kind of around February 2020, but was still in communication with them up until like March 2020, I want to say. So it's been a little over a year. And so again, when I told that story, there was a lot that I left out, because I was, honestly, I'm not even gonna lie, I was embarrassed. I was still going through it. And when I told the original story, again, I was not ready to leave yet, because I had already been with this person for 5 years. I was heavily in love, and honestly, love will make you blind, love will make you do stupid shit. So this is me now going and just resonating with so many of the things I read in that thread. And I'm just like, bro, like, people have been through it worse than me, and then some of them, a lot of them, I'm like, oh, okay. And then I've been through it worse than some people too. And it's not a competition. I'm just saying, like, it more so kind of put things into perspective. Like, people are really trash out here, you know? So yes, so without further ado, we are going to get right into a couple of these little mini stories that I have about dealing with this person. And I do want to say too, before I get into this all the way as well, I want to say two things. First off, trigger warning to anybody who has been in an abusive relationship. I do not want to trigger anybody, so if you are triggered by these type of topics, this is not going to be the video for you. I'm going to be honest. This is not going to be the video for you. You're not going to enjoy it, and I would suggest you click off now, just so that you can preserve your emotional state. And I also do want to say that this person, I was in a verbally and emotionally abusive relationship, but it was never physical. It was physical onto like things, but never onto me. So I have not experienced physical domestic violence in that sense. But I definitely have been in a very, very toxic verbally and emotionally abusive relationship. So yeah, oh my God, I'm like, which story do I want to start off with first? Okay, so what even made me be like, yo, like, I really got some stories for this thread was I was reading the other ones, and it reminded me of a story that I kept hidden for so long. Okay, you guys, like, I literally, this one right here was the one that I didn't even, like, my closest friends, I didn't even tell them for a really long time, because I was just so embarrassed, and I couldn't believe that I stayed after this. And I was just like, damn, like, it was just crazy. It was crazy, and I was like, wow, like if anybody hears this, they're gonna be like, yo, like what the hell is wrong with you for like not leaving this person? So I didn't tell anybody at the time until a later date, like until a much later date, like after I had already started like my healing process and stuff. So I remember there was a time that, okay, so there was this one night. This person used to, the thing about my ex is he, okay, so I made a TikTok the other day and I was talking about zodiac signs that I feel like were misdiagnosed or whatever. So if you guys do follow me on TikTok, then you saw that, and you saw some of the things I said about Libra men, and specifically, not to say that there aren't traits that Libra men and women share, but I definitely feel like when it comes to the men, it's a whole different breed, which I mean, I feel like that's kind of relative to all the signs. The men tend to be pretty different from the women, but that's just because men are different from women in general too. So that's not even trying to, oh, it's all about the zodiac. Like, no, this is not that. But what I will say, as far as like what I do feel like a lot of Libra men do, and this was true for him, is my ex was very, very big on keeping up an appearance. Very, very big on keeping up an appearance. Very big on keeping up the good guy, not confrontational, doesn't get into anything hippie, like, you know, Tarian all over. And I don't know why, and I see this a lot. I, on social media, associate being vegetarian or being vegan with being a good person. I see that a lot on social media, and I'm just like, why is that associated with being a good person? You can do all the yoga in the world, you can be a vegan, you can be, you know, you can meditate 3 times a day and still be a shitty person. And that is how this person was. So, but to everybody else, it was just like, oh, it's just, you know, it's, I called him Danny in the other one, so I'll call him Danny in this one. It's just hippie Danny, like, you know, like, he's so sweet, he wouldn't harm a fly, like, he's very, like, oh, he's so environmentally friendly, he cares about this, he cares about that, we'll do whatever, you know. But I knew what it really was because I was the one dealing with what it really was. So in this particular instance, there was a night that, and I'm pretty sure that I spoke on this a tiny bit when I told the part one to like me getting cheated on and stuff, but I didn't go into detail. And honestly, at the time with where my mental was, I don't even know if I told I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know if I told the entire truth when I told that this little part that I'm about to tell y'all. I can't remember. I can't remember if I just didn't go into detail or if I made it sound less bad than it was. I honestly can't remember. So there was a night that he had wanted to go out to the club, and he had been going out a lot, like literally a lot. Like this man went from going out every once in a while to he was partying really, really, really heavy. Literally probably I would say either like 4 to 5 nights out of the week, not even exaggerating, 4 to 5 nights out of the week, he was out partying, getting super, super intoxicated, doing drugs, with the girl that he was involved with. I thought I had something trying to get in my eye. So yeah, so he was like, you know, going out, he was doing that, whatever, with you. And this particular night, he had invited me out. And you know when people try to invite you out, but they invite you out with the assumption that you're not going to accept the invitation. So that's what he did to me this night. He invited me out thinking that I wasn't going to accept the invitation. And then when I accepted the invitation, he got salty. And so basically what happened was, I don't know where y'all be seeing this great skin, because all I see is blemishes and pores and shit. I'm like, but thank y'all. But okay, so basically what happened was he invited me out, not expecting me to say like, oh, okay, that's cool, I'll come. And I ended up that particular night being like, you know, okay, like that's cool. And so he got mad. So this man, at first, he tried to like, he was trying to pick little arguments and stuff like as I was getting ready, in order to kind of like find a way to be like, ah, like F it, like you made me mad, like I'm leaving you type thing. So what ended up happening was I got ready, and mind you, what he would do as well, he he would invite me out, but he would invite me out with not enough time to actually get ready to go out, knowing that I'm one of those people, like I like to like, I like to look nice. I like to, pick out my outfit, do my makeup or whatever. I would say on average it takes me about an hour to get ready, maybe hour and 20 if I'm really chilling, but I don't take super long. I feel like that's kind of average. To him though, he would use that as like a, oh, you take so long to get ready, like just trying to like basically like gaslight me and make me feel like I was such a like horrible person, and I'm so conceited, and I'm so just too into my looks because I dared to get presentable to go out anywhere. And then also comparing it to himself, which you can't compare it to, because guys literally take a shower, put on their deodorant, and pick out an outfit, and they're ready to go. A guy can get ready in like 20 minutes. It's not like they're sitting there doing their hair, face, anything like that. So he would do that. But also, again, like I was saying, he would purposely tell me when it would be way too late for me to realistically get ready for whatever it was. So this night, I think he wanted to go out probably like, I think he wanted to leave by 11. He didn't tell me until like, oh no, I can't remember what time. He was trying to leave early. I think he was trying to leave pretty early. He was trying to leave by like 10 something. So he didn't tell me until like maybe like 9:30. And then was like, yeah, I'm leaving at like 10. I'm like, what the fuck? But I was like, I'll go or whatever, because he was going out a lot and I wasn't. And so I was like, I want to get out of the house too, type thing. So he gets mad, and I get done getting ready or whatever, and he's like, oh, that took you so long. We never have time to like pregame or anything like that because you take so long to get ready. And if you would just like, you miss out on so much of life because you just spend time getting ready, and just like giving me all of that, just really controlling, like nasty energy, right? And so he's like doing that or whatever. And then he's seeing that that isn't working as far as like making me be like, ah, well, F it, I'm just not gonna come. Because at this time I was ready, but he was just basically trying to like blow my vibe so that I wouldn't want to go. So he's like trying to like blow my vibe with that. That's not working. So basically, what he ends up doing is he's like, oh, we get to the door. And all of a sudden he's like, oh, well, I have something I need to go do, so you need to drive separately. Or he's like, we can ride separately, and I'll meet you there. And I'm like, well, we live together, we're leaving together, we're going there together, and we're going to leave together. So why would you go off and do something separate and I can't go if I'm riding with you? That makes no sense. And also, um it just had never been a thing. Like, when you've like, hold on, you guys, had to get my little spoolie. When you've been with someone for a while, like y'all have certain ways y'all do stuff. But also when you live with somebody, you're not going to like literally, y'all, the logic was not there at the fuck all. I was like, yo, you cannot think I'm this stupid. And by this time I knew about the girl, everything like that. So I'm like, why would we drive separately? That makes no sense. Like, we live together, we're coming back to the same spot. Like, why would we drive separately? If you need to run an errand or whatever, we'll just both get in the car and we'll run the errand, and then we'll go to where we're trying to go. So he's like trying to make up all these excuses for why I need to get in a separate car and getting mad at me and all this other stuff. And I'm like, is he really wilding right now? Like, he really trying to get me to go to this event in a separate car, and then get there and meet up with you and your friends or whatever. And then not only that, I knew that because of the I didn't know for a fact that the girl was going to be there, but I knew because of the place he was going, I knew that it was very likely that she was going to be there, because this club had like it had like events every, not like an event, but it had like a Wednesday night vibe type thing that it did, and her friends would always go. And I basically ended up figuring out that he was meeting them out there all the time too, because this man never used to, like, y'all, when I say literally did a complete like 180, like he never used to go out in the middle of the week, like for what? And then all of a sudden you're out like all weekend, and then part of the week as well. Like you are, it got so bad, it'll be to the point like I wouldn't even trust this man if he said he was going to the gas station. I'm not even lying. I dead ass wouldn't trust him if he said he was going to the gas station, because this motherfucker would be like, oh, I'm about to go run over here right quick. Say he was going to the gas station or the store or something, would have clothes in his car and would not come back. Like a whole entire something that was supposed to take you 10 to 15 minutes will end up into him not coming back for the whole entire night. And that gets really like, it gets really traumatizing. Like that gets hella traumatizing. Like it gets to the point where you get hella anxious. You're always like, oh my God, like, is this person lying? Are they actually like on whatever they're on, whatever with you? So anyway, so basically, you know, he would go disappear with her on Wednesdays. So I kind of had a feeling that she was probably going to be here, and he solidified that feeling when he started acting weird about me going in a separate car or whatever. I'm like, okay, like this is weird. Like you're doing a lot right now. I know you're up to something. So he basically told on himself. So he tells on himself or whatever. I'm like, no, you're trying to go pick up old girl. That's literally the only thing that would make sense at that point. I'm like, you're trying to go pick her up. That's why you don't want me to ride with you. And I'm like, that makes literally no sense. That it's like, y'all, like, how are you supposed to feel as a person that the person that you live with and you've been dating for the past 5 years basically wants you to act like the side bitch, wants you to pull up separately to this party, whatever, while they go pick up their side bitch, meet up with their side bitch's friends, and then you're supposed to pull up and what, hang out with the side bitch and her friends and your nigga? Like this man literally was delusional. In the way that he was cheating, he was delusional, like literally delusional. So we're arguing or whatever, and I'm in front of the front door. I wouldn't move because I'm like, no, you're not about to go like pick up this girl. Like at this point, fuck you even going out, because I know exactly what you're trying to go do, and you really think you just about to play me like I'm a dummy. Like, and at the time I was being a dummy, because it's like, again, I wasn't leaving, so I was still being dumb, just in a different aspect, you know. And so I'm like, no, like, I can't believe, like, you really trying me right now. Like, you really think I'm that dumb? Like, we going back and forth, we arguing. Y'all, this man literally, I have to make sure. This man literally, and this is why, y'all about to see why I didn't tell this part of the story for so long. Y'all, that's why I had to answer under this Twitter thread. This man, we're arguing. I won't move from in front of the door. This man goes to the patio, opens the patio door. We lived on the second floor of this apartment building. Opens the patio door and proceeds to scale down the apartment building 2 stories to then run to his car to go and pick up his side bitch and go party with her. I'm like, what the fuck? Y'all, when I say never in my life did I ever think, I was always, and this is why I no longer say, like, I still have my moments where, you know, when other girls are going through stuff, I'm like, bro, like, now that I've been through it, I know what I will tolerate and what I won't. I used to always be one of those, oh, it could never be me, it could never be me. And that is why I no longer say shit like that, because it could always be you. I never in a million years would have thought that I would be watching my man climb down, mind you, we live together, climb down our apartment building, climb down the apartment building, down the patio, to go pick up his side bitch who didn't drive. Y'all, when I say that, literally, that should have been the point right there where I said, you know what, this is, I need to leave. But honestly, again, there's also a separate girl I saw on, this was on TikTok. I can't remember the girl's name, but she was basically like, oh, name a name the moment that wouldn't make sense to most people, like when you left. But or I guess it was kind of like a, name the moment that was like a small breaking point, that was your ultimate breaking point, that doesn't make sense to most people, because basically the bigger, you didn't leave because of the bigger ones, but it was like something small that made you leave, like type thing. Basically, you know, for the like the people that had been through, basically for like, you know, like when a person puts you through a lot of like really really super traumatic stuff, and then one day you wake up and you're just like, they do the smallest thing and it's like all the other shit should have been the point where you were like, no, I'm done, but this little small thing was like, nah, I'm done. So yeah, so with this, you would have thought that this is when I was like, oh, I'm done, F him, I'm not dealing with this man no more. But no, I continued to deal with him. It was not, that was not my breaking point. I don't know how, because looking back on it, I'm like, girl, I wouldn't, like, what do you have to talk about after that? What do you possibly have to talk about after that, you know? Looking back on it. But at that time, again, just blinded. So basically, that was one of the biggest moments I had where I was like, I will never forget this. I've never been so embarrassed in my life by a individual ever. But again, when you're in these situations, it's like a lot of the time you can take them L's in private, and that's what a lot of girls do. That's why I'm not an advocate for when people are like, when girls are like, oh, don't tell anybody about your relationship. A lot of the times that's very toxic. People don't be wanting to tell you about your relationship a lot of times because there's a lot of stuff that they are putting up with in their relationship that they shouldn't be. And if they told you, you would put it into perspective for them, and they don't want you to. Sometimes people are just private people, but more often than them just being private, I promise you, more times than not, it's not that they're private, it's because they have something that they are dealing with that they are embarrassed about. And if they told you, you would put it into perspective and they would say, why am I dealing with this? And they don't want you to do that. And so that's why, like, when people are very overly secretive about their relationships, I don't trust that. That screams red flags to me. That screams abuse. Especially when it comes to like their friends and people close to them, because it's like, why are you not able to tell your friends about your relationship, you know? If you have true, solid, genuine friends, you should be able to tell them about your relationship. And that doesn't mean tell them every aspect of your relationship, of course, but you should be able to tell them more than, you shouldn't have to be secretive about your relationship with them. That's red flags. But yeah, I didn't tell anybody that for a long ass time because I was so embarrassed. I'm like, not my man just climbed down 2 flights of apartment building to go pick up his side bitch, you know? So that was one of the instances. And I'm not particularly telling these in chronological order. That one though is in chronological order. That was the first like big one that happened. The second one that I would say was super embarrassing, and I know for a fact that, again, when I told the story, I was still very embarrassed about this, so I didn't tell it all the way. Was the New Year's Eve party. So the New Year's Eve party that I think, yeah, no, literally to Mega Cassie 83, you really do. She said, you have to hit your rock bottom. Everyone is different. And that's what one of my friends at the time, she said, only you're gonna know what, like, what did she say? How did she word it? She said, I think she said, like, only you're gonna know when you're done. She was like, only you're gonna know. Because everybody's breaking point is different. The things that most of us be like, oh, I wouldn't have. You will be surprised when you get in that situation what you will actually do. The type of stupid shit you'll tolerate. Um, so anyway, so the second one was the New Year's Eve party. So basically, me and this girl, I'm not gonna go super into detail just because, again, like I've told this in story times before. I'm just going back and really opening up about how toxic and just like shitty this relationship was. Um, the New Year's Eve party, I had just had an altercation with this girl 2 years, but not 2 years, 2 days before this party that we went to. He's like, oh, you know, it's New Year's Eve or whatever, and we didn't really have plans. He had friends and stuff in town, but nobody had like set plans, right? So he's like, oh, I know of this party, whatever. Um, and he was like, you know, basically was like the people that were throwing it were part of the people that he partied with a lot. But what I noticed is the people that he partied with a lot all kind of, again, to those who haven't seen those story times about me getting cheated on, basically what had ended up happening was I was a homebody in that relationship. I didn't go out a lot, and me, honestly, as a person, I'm an extrovert. I like to go out a lot. So for me to be a homebody really speaks to, like, I was going through it. I was a homebody. I would stay in a lot of the time. And when we would go out and do stuff, like we would go out on like a lot of like, we would do date nights, we would do like daytime activities and stuff. But we weren't doing things where like you see a lot of people, because again, like you do a date night, it's more intimate or whatever. You do like a festival during the day or something, it's kind of like you don't see like the party crowd of Charlotte when you go out and do those type of things. So the party crowd wouldn't see me because I wouldn't be out with him partying. They would see her because she would always be out partying in general. And then when they started partying together, they would see the both of them together all the time. So to the party crowd in Charlotte, like the little artsy party crowd that they would be with, everybody thought that like those two were together. They didn't even know that he had a whole ass girl that he lived with and had been with for 5 years. They did not know that. They didn't know that at all. So to them, they thought the side bitch, who I call Crimson Chin, they thought the Chin was his girl. So when I came around, the few times I did come around to party, they would mistake me, like it just, you can kind of catch a vibe, and the vibe felt like people felt like I was a side piece, so they would kind of be eyeing me when I came around. Like it would be like, like, who is this bitch? Like, you know, whatever. Like the energy would just be kind of janky when I would come around. And so it made me uncomfortable. And so I would get really bad anxiety. I wouldn't be comfortable. And when we would go out, I wouldn't really have a good time because I had so much anxiety, because I felt like my guard always has to be up, because if anybody tries me, I can't be too fucked up. I can't be like, I can't have a good time because I got to be ready for somebody to try me. Like that's how it got to the point. So we go to this NYE party, and he's like, yeah, so you know, these people are throwing it or whatever. So again, I'm already, this is the crowd they be running with. So I know when I go out here, I was like, you know, I know when I go out here, I'm gonna have to have my guard up. I can't really have fun. I don't even know why or actually, I do know why I went. I went because at the time he had broken me down so bad, and I was so insecure about him cheating with this girl that I really went on the basis of, I knew I was not going to have a good time, because I knew that that was not my crowd. Oh, excuse me. Y'all, my voice not cracking because I'm getting emotional. My voice is cracking because I just have a crackly ass voice. If y'all follow my channel, y'all know I don't know what in the puberty my vocal cords be on, y'all, but they always be on some bullshit. So literally my vocal cords always be on some bullshit. But anyway, so okay. We get out there, mind y'all, okay, pause, because I've gotten comments on this before too. People are like, oh, what's wrong with your voice? Like, why is there, I don't get them often, but every once in a while I get them, and I never get mad because I just have a very particular sounding voice, honestly. My shit just particular as hell. But anyway, okay, so we get out to this party, this NYE party, and I think the way that I originally told it, I was like, you know, he basically was trying to have us be, we get out to this party, he's showing his ass, he's trying to basically talk us into being sister wives in the middle of this damn party. which is super embarrassing because, again, it's majority all people that she hangs with. It's like all her crowd, not necessarily her friend. Because y'all know how y'all have people that you just know through kind of more so acquaintance because y'all party together, but you're not necessarily close friends. So it was a mixture of people that she actually was friends with, and then her like party group, her party crowd. So the party crowd knew her, they fucked with her, whatever. So we go out there. He is completely embarrassing me because he's trying to have us have this conversation literally in front of like everybody about how, you know, oh, it's good. Mind you, he's so fucked up. He's like, oh, it's good vibes. Like, why can't we all just, you know, we're all here together. It's the perfect time to talk about it. It's good vibes. It's good vibes. Me and this girl just fought 2 days before, and you got us, you trying to have us in each other's face at this party. And we both like, bro, like, we are not trying to do this right now. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, so, but that's not even that was not the worst part of that party, honestly. The worst part of that party, which I did not mention, and which I have, you know, healed enough that I can mention now, is the fact that he was following that girl around the whole damn party. Like, he literally was following her around and just basically toting me along, while he was like just visually keeping an eye on her, like just keeping an eye on her, trying to make sure she wasn't talking to other people like that, like other guys or anything like that. And I'm like, not me here watching this nigga basically try to keep track of a whole nother bitch. So he was doing that or whatever. And then he had pulled us outside, or me and him had stepped outside. Actually, we had stepped outside first, and I'm going in on him because I'm like, you really got me here at this party looking stupid as fuck because you are literally fiending after this girl, like basically like just trying to make sure that we are standing somewhere in her vicinity at all times so you can keep an eye on what she's doing. Mind you, you're my nigga. We live together. We came here together, and you are openly in front of everybody fiending after this fucking bitch who looks like a fucking thumb. And I'm sorry, y'all, because I know some people are like, don't come after the girl. This girl was mad disrespectful. Anybody who see my videos, I know she's mad disrespectful. And honestly, if I was that type of messy ass motherfucker, I would have been showed y'all what this girl looked like. Because I'm not capping. I give credit where it's due. I would have been showed y'all, but I'm not that messy. So, because y'all would literally be like, what the fuck? Niggas will fuck anything. But basically, you know, you got me around here chase, like you just doing the most whatever. So we're out there, I'm going in on him. I can't remember if she walked up or if she ended up stepping out there and he just ended up like kind of getting her to come over because he again was like so focused on making sure that she was in his eyesight at all times because he was like just so infatuated and stuff. So basically, what is in my little eyeball? Hold on. Oh, I think, okay, I got it. So basically, she comes over. Again, he keeps on putting us in these very awkward situations where we are way too close for comfort to each other. And the only reason we're not fighting is because we're like, yo, like, we're at this thing, whatever. Neither one of us wants to none of us wants to get kicked out of it. And at this point, it had gotten to the point where I had already fought her multiple times at this time, and it won't doing nothing. Not to say that I wouldn't still keep giving her the hands, but honestly, my main reason for not wanting to fight her this time was I didn't want to be that ghetto rah-rah bitches in front of all these people fighting. Like, it's New Year's Eve, trying to turn a new leaf. And at the time, I had told myself, honestly, no, it wasn't even that. I wasn't even, scratch all that. I was not trying to be presentable. That's not why I didn't fight her. I didn't fight her at this time because I had told myself going into the new year, I wasn't going to fight this girl no more. I was like, yo, you're going to turn a new leaf. You're not going to keep fighting her. It's a wrap. It's clip. Granted, looking back on it, I wish I could have a more mature answer and be like, oh, you know, I'm glad I did that. Honestly, I wish I would have whipped that bitch ass every time I seen her. Because a long time after that, I literally was like, damn, I should have fought her. I should have fought her again. Mind you, it would have been like my third time, but I was like, I should have fought her again. I didn't give a fuck. I did not give a fuck. I was like, I should have fought her again. I was like, I don't know why you got in front of them people and was acting like, oh, it's a new year, new life, new me. Should have swung on that bitch right there. But anyway, no, to the person who said, to be honest, you stayed too long. I know I stayed too long. Y'all don't have to tell me that. Like, that's the whole purpose of this video. I stayed way too long. That's the entire purpose of this video. I'm sharing it with y'all. And so we get out there and he starts going off on this motherfucking beach about the fact that mind you, this is in front of me. He's like, you're trying to make me jealous, like, da-da-da-da, like, you know, because we had come with some of his friends as well. So his friends were inside. And I guess he had one of his friends low-key type keeping an eye on her. But they also were getting, I don't know, like, I would say a mixture of getting lit, but also, like, that friend low-key used to be just flirting with his bitches type shit. Like, in the lowest of keys, it kind of was like that too. So that particular friend is like, you know, her and him are doing whatever they were doing, getting drinks or whatever, walking around, talking to people, whatever. And so my ex Danny took that as like, oh, you know, you're all up under so-and-so, the friend, you're trying to make me jealous. And you know that's making me jealous. And he said that, he says this in front of me. In front of me while I'm standing out there. Mind you, during this party, he would not have given a fuck what the hell I was doing during the party, because he was just trying to see where Chin was at. He did not give a damn. I kept on telling him during this party, I'm like, hey, I'm not comfortable with this. Like, you making me mad uncomfortable. You got me at this party with basically all her crowd, her people, whatever. You don't give a fuck. You out here, you got me looking stupid. You keep on trying to talk about this this fucking sister wife threesome situation, not threesome particularly, but poly situation I guess you were trying to create. And it's like, what is it called? Polygamy, when they be dating multiple people, whatever. Polygamy is created off of people knowing from the jump that's what they get into. Polygamy is not created off of a partner cheating and then trying to gaslight and manipulate the other partner into accepting the person they cheated with as a third person into their relationship. Like, what? So I kept on telling him, I'm like, I'm not comfortable with this. Like, you have me looking mad stupid in front of all these people. I'm mad uncomfortable. You keep basically chasing this girl around this fucking party. And I keep telling you I'm uncomfortable and, you know, asking you, can we leave? Can we leave? I'm like, yo, let's go, let's go, let's go. His answer every time I said let's go was, oh, well, you can get an Uber. You can go home. And basically, like, I'll meet you there type shit. Which he wasn't going to meet me there because anytime he would be out with this girl, he would never come home. But that was his answer to me, was, oh, I'll meet you, I'll meet you back at the house. Like, you can leave. If you're uncomfortable, you can leave, but I'm having a good time. I'm staying. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Like, this man was literally, like, he was so evil. Like, I just don't understand how somebody could be that fucking heartless and evil and just nasty to somebody. He kept on, and y'all, when I say I cannot, no, to the person who said she put period blood, so I don't, again, for everybody who has not actually seen the story times of my last relationship, she legit did put a love spell on him. I don't know if I was getting dreams that it was that she was putting something in his food, but I was also told by 3 different, and mind you, again, if y'all listen to those, then I said this too. I had been told by, because I'm a spiritual person and I know spiritual people, and I have multiple people I know who are mediums and do that kind of work. 3 different people had told me, one because I had a reading with her, but the other 2 just out of just us being friends and know my situation. They said she put some work on him, like she using magic on him to get him out of the relationship. She's putting magic on you to try to mess with your finances. I could never, I could keep money when I was with him, but I could never like really make more money. It was always the same amount, and it was always just me kind of like replenishing that same amount. I was never making like more money with him. So they had told me that. They were like, yeah, like she put a love spell on him, whatever. So this part of this was like him acting crazy as fuck off of the woo voodoo witchcraft shit that she did on him. Hold on, let me turn my lights on. And the other part was just, you know, this is somebody he was cheating with. Like, he was sleeping with her. He was cheating with her. And that's what it was at the time. So, let me turn this light on. So hopefully y'all be able to see him. So yeah, so basically, so that was the instance too. Y'all do not want the rest. This is the thing, and this is, I really want to speak on this too, as far as like TikTok, love spell TikTok gonna get a lot of y'all fucked up. Love spell TikTok is gonna get a lot of y'all fucked up, because there is karma that comes with fucking with people's free will, and people have soul contracts that have already been signed in past lives that have already been committed to, and when you fuck with their free will and you fuck with that type of shit, you are really asking to get your ass whooped spiritually. Like, you are really asking to get your ass whooped in several different ways. And it might not come right then, because that's what a lot of people be like, oh, I gotta wait for it, because it don't come like right then. Nah, you gonna get your ass whooped. But anyway, so basically, hold on, y'all. I gotta be able to see my neck. So boom, that happened, whatever. I was super embarrassed. So when I told the story on here, I didn't go into detail about the fact that he was openly in front of me being like, oh, you know, I'm jealous over a whole nother woman, and telling her in front of me, just like I'm not even there, just being like, oh, you know, you're making me feel some type of way. You're trying to make me feel some type of way. You know, I don't like that. Basically, like, almost like as if that was his girl. I'm like, wow, like, this is really crazy. And when we were there, when we had gotten the first, like, where he was trying to like basically have us talk about being sister wives in front of everybody, when we were going through that little debacle type thing, one of her friends, who was, I guess, the guy throwing the party, had come up, and he was just being very disrespectful, very extra, like one of those people who thinks that they are, being popping in Charlotte does not mean you're popping anywhere the fuck else. Like, please calm down. But he was one of those. So I guess like he's like popping on the party scene in Charlotte. So he comes over like, like, you know, all up in my face. Oh, who are you? Like, da-da-da. Like, don't be bringing bad vibes to my party type shit. Because all he sees is our hands going like this, whatever. So that was New Year's. Let me tell you. So when me and this man would go out, we would, like, say we went to a restaurant, whatever. We would go to like a restaurant, and screaming, but we would go to restaurants, and again, Danny being, you know, all trying to keep his like, oh, I'm so holistic and I environmentally friendly, I care about the earth, and, you know, vegetarian, you know, whatever, trying to keep that going. We would go to restaurants, y'all. If I were to order a drink out at a restaurant, this man would have a fit. He literally would be like, that's so stupid. Why would you order that shit? You can, the $3 that you spent on that drink, you could literally, you could have got a whole, you know, bottle of, you know, whatever juice or whatever it was. He's like, oh, you could have got a whole bottle of juice, or you could have got a whole carton, gallon, whatever. Why would you do that? I'm not paying for that. If you get that drink, then you can pay for that yourself type thing. Like, he literally would get so mad if I would order drinks at restaurants. Like, y'all, it is never that deep. He would get pissed. He would literally be like, why would you do that? And it would be a big ass deal. He'd be like, well, if you order the drink, I'm not paying. Sometimes it would be, if you order the drink, I'm not paying for the drink itself. You can pay for the drink, which I'm like, it's $3. All I want is lemonade. Like, the fuck. Or it would be if you order the drink, then you can pay for the food and stuff. I'm not paying for it. I'm like, for those of y'all asking about manifesting, I feel like you can manifest things for yourself, but also if you're going to manifest an interaction with somebody, I would say like do something like manifest trying to meet a certain somebody. Like, you know how some people manifest like meeting celebrities, or meeting, I don't know who else you would manifest meeting, but they manifest like meeting like their favorite celebrity or something like that. They're not trying to manifest a relationship out of that person. They're not trying to alter that person's free will. They're not trying to they're just trying to cross paths with that person. Shit like that, I feel like you can do. Shit when it comes to trying to literally manifest a relationship, and especially when you're trying to take somebody who's already currently in a relationship out of a relationship, that's when karma gonna beat your ass. Or trying to, even when it comes to single people, trying to manifest single people to fall madly in love with you and be obsessed with you and all that shit like that, that's you finna get your ass whooped. And if you gotta do all that, is that the person you want to be with anyway? Like, if you have to sit there and try to do witchcraft and do the most to get somebody to commit to you, is that the person you want to be committed to? Like, why do a lot of people be so desperate is my thing. But anyway, okay, so boom, he would do that with the restaurant drinks. Restaurant drinks were always an issue. He would also, he had stopped complimenting me, like, literally, like, throughout the relationship. Like, probably the first 2 years, nice, dandy, whatever. The last 3 years of our relationship, because again, we were together 5. The last 3 years, like, I would not get no compliments from him. And granted, our love languages were different. So my love languages, my 2, are words of affirmation, that is my number 1, and physical touch. And when I say physical touch, I mean like running your hands through my hair, or coming up behind me and giving me a hug, or kissing me on the forehead, stuff like that. And then words of affirmation is self-explanatory. So his love language was acts of service, and to him, it did not matter trying to compromise to learn my love language or anything. It was just, well, this is my love language, so we should go by mine, and you should understand mine. And I would go out of my way to try to understand his, but he would never try to feed into mine. He would never try to understand mine, feed into mine. It was always, your love language is stupid. Basically, like, why do you need somebody to give you a compliment or do this or do that for you to feel secure about yourself? That's insecure. Like, I'd be like, words of affirmation, he, in the beginning of our relationship, again, the first 2 years, he would do it, and he would do it without having to be mentioned or anything. The last excuse me, my nose. The last 3 years, he would always try to gaslight me. Like, basically, he would gaslight me so bad, and just make me feel like that's a stupid ass love language, and because I feel like it's stupid, you don't really need that. He would literally tell me, he'd be like, you don't need that. You don't need that. Like, why would you don't need that. You can tell yourself these things. I'm like, what the fuck? But let me be the first one to not do some shit for you because your love language is acts of service, and it's, you don't care about me. You don't pay attention to things that I like. You don't do this. You don't do that. It was always what I didn't do. It was always on my shit. It was always, I'm not a good partner. And he would love to say, like, I made you what you are. You didn't even know how to do anything before you met me. You didn't know how to go grocery shopping before you met me or anything. Your fridge used to be empty. Like, you didn't even know how to, you shopped like a little kid for yourself. Like, you didn't know how to buy shit for yourself before you met me. I'm like, sir, when I met you, I was working at fucking Twin Peaks and I ate at work. So by the time I got home, I did not need to keep my fridge. And not only that, I was in college. I was a broke ass college student. I'm broke. I'm working at Twin Peaks. By the time I'm eating at work. So by the time I get home, I'm bringing food home from work. I didn't need to have food in the fridge at that time. Like, you met a broke ass college student. Sorry, my bad. I'm fucking 22 years old and I'm not fucking, I don't have the bread to spend fucking, $100+ on groceries every week. So I eat at work because I'm literally a college student and I'm fucking broke. Like, the hell? So he would always tell me that. He'd be like, oh, like, I made you. You wouldn't know how to do shit without me. Like, you know, like, just very, 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 like, condescending. He would talk down to me so bad. Like, he would talk down to me so fucking bad. Like, I would feel like I wasn't shit. I would feel like I couldn't say anything back. I would feel like, oh, well, you know, I would always just kind of be like, oh, I guess he's right. Like, I didn't do this or I didn't do that. And, you know, he's doing this or that. And he would always be like, oh, well, look what I do for you. Look what I do for you. I do this. I do that. And mind you, again, he was going off his love language. So these were things that he felt like, well, I do this for you, so you should feel loved. Even though this is not your love language and you're telling me that this is not your love language. But because this is mine, I'm doing this for you and you should feel loved. Versus me, on the other hand, where it was like, okay, I understand that we have two different love languages. This is mine, that's yours. I know that if you do this for me, this will make me feel good. And if I do this different thing for you, this will make you feel good because our love languages are different. That's how I approached it. So when I would do stuff for him, it would be stuff that was more specific to his love language. Or at least I would try. You know, I'm not perfect, but I would try. He would not try to do shit that was specific to my love language because he did not value me. He didn't look at me as shit. So it was not important for mine to be satisfied or anything like that because that just was not important to him. So boom, he would do that or whatever. He would say a lot of those things. And then, let me see, what else, y'all? It was so much. Oh, okay, so this was a big thing too. So y'all know at the time, this was back when I was in my, okay, so if y'all remember my Twin Peaks story, and if y'all remember the stories that came along after that, like when I was talking about my Mac story time, like working at Mac, all that stuff, I was in this apartment that had dark gray walls. That was literally my favorite apartment I've ever lived in or whatever. But that was the beginning of me really getting into doing content really heavy, starting my YouTube channel, like, you know, just all that stuff. Cool. So my YouTube was picking up and everything else was like picking up too. And I would spend, you know, more time, not even, and when I say more time, it wasn't an excessive amount of time, but I would be, you know, checking emails and stuff because I would get offers from, you know, sponsorships, companies that want to work with me or whatever. So I would be checking my email, responding to them, doing stuff like that. Or I would be gathering content ideas, or just like I was doing everything off my phone. I was recording off my phone. I was responding to emails off my phone. I was drafting up content ideas on my phone. Like everything I was doing, I did it off my phone. So he started to basically like nitpick. Mind you, this man, we could not, when we were spending, because I'm big on quality time too, like, so when we were spending quality time together, whether we were watching a movie, cooking, whether we went to the movies, whether we were out to eat, whatever, this man would be on his phone all the fucking time. We went from, in the beginning of the relationship, to when we were spending quality time together, he would put his phone somewhere, down somewhere. He wouldn't even be in it, wouldn't look at it, no nothing. And I would do the same. Throughout the relationship, it would be me putting my phone down somewhere and not being concerned because we're spending time together. He would be all in his fucking phone, all in his fucking phone. Like everything that I just told you I was doing as far as social media, everything that I was doing as far as social media, like when we would spend quality time together, I would wrap it up and then it would be, my focus would be on, okay, like we're spending time together. Him, it would be in his phone on IG, in his phone, you know, texting, in his phone, like he would always be doing something in his fucking phone. But he would turn it around and he would project onto me. So his thing would be, oh, you're always, mind you, again, when we spend quality time together, my phone usage, boom, stop. Because I wanted to be up under him. Like I wanted to spend time together, whatever. So I wouldn't be on mine. But let me even reach for the phone after sitting, like, you know, say we've been doing stuff together for 4 hours and I might just check in on my phone right quick. His thing would be, oh, you're always on your phone. If we compare, and I would always tell him, I'd be like, no, you're actually on your phone a lot more than me. Like, we can't do anything without you being on your phone. And his thing would be like, and he would always do this manipulative ass shit where he knew that, like, because when we weren't together, and because I do YouTube, and because I do social media on the side, if you were to actually look at our data for, like, you know how it'd be like your iPhone will tell you like how many hours you've spent on this or how many minutes you spent on this a day or whatever. So when you compared our data, mine would be higher because when I'm not around you, I'm actively on my phone doing shit because, again, I'm making money through my phone. So yeah, mine is gonna be higher than yours. His will be, look at that, look at that. Yours is higher than mine. You don't even know what you're talking about. Yours is higher than mine. You're always on your phone. I can prove it. We can pull the data right now. I can prove it. I can prove it. And my thing is, like, I'm on my phone more than you in general, but when it's time to have quality time, I'm not on my phone. You are consistently on your phone. But his thing was, oh, well, we can prove it. That's not what the numbers say. That's not what the numbers say. I'm like, okay, whatever. So he would always make me feel very insecure about anytime I touched my phone, anytime I was trying to do anything. I would always be in this mindset of like, oh, okay, let me see how much I can get done before he comes home, because when he comes home, if I literally touch my phone, if I respond to anything, he's gonna be like, oh, you're always in your phone. And he would use that to be like, you're always on your phone. All you care about is social media. You're so shallow. Anybody who knows me knows I'm the first thing for that. I'm not one of these social media bitches. Like, I do social media. Don't get me wrong. I get paid off social media. I do social media. But I'm not one of these, like, my whole personality is social media. Like, I'm out of touch with reality. Like, I don't know how to enjoy life outside of social media. I'm not one of those people. I'm one of those people that the reason, and y'all know this about me, the reason I cannot do vlogs is because when I'm in the moment and I'm doing stuff, I am not thinking about picking up my fucking phone or camera or anything like that because I'm in the moment. I like to enjoy what I'm doing. If I go out, now it's raining again. Oh my gosh, I cannot. New York, what is going on, baby? Child, y'all, it's been raining. It rains like all last week. It's gonna rain it's gonna rain all weekend here again, and it's gonna rain majority of the week. The only day this week is not supposed to rain is tomorrow. I'm so annoyed with this shit. Like, this is, oh my gosh. And I'm going to the club tonight, so I'm like, bro, like, I need this rain to chill out. Anyway, where was I? So, okay, so he would always make me feel like really insecure about social media. So I would always be like, okay, I have to try to finish this before he gets home, because if I'm still doing this when he gets home, then you know, he's gonna come for me. He's gonna say, like, he's gonna attack my character, like, literally attack my character so bad. You are so shallow. You don't care about anything else. And mind you, like, again, going back to what I was saying earlier about how some people think that they are good people just because they're vegan and they do yoga and this and the third, or, you know, they do certain things. If you're genuinely a good person, you don't have to try to create this whole lifestyle to prove that you're a good person. You're living that lifestyle because you just want to. You don't have to, like, constantly be like, I do this, I do that, da da da, like, what do you do type shit. You know, like, I don't have to sit up here and be like, oh, I'm such a good person. You know, like, it speaks for me. Anybody who has met me in person, I've run into subscribers before, my friend groups, anything like that, family, whatever. Like, y'all, like, if I were to fucking KO tomorrow, I know that people are not about to drag my name through the mud because I'm not a janky ass bitch. Like, I could literally leave this earth and know that people are not gonna have, like, shit to talk on my name. So basically, oh Lord, hold on, my phone is about to die. Let me not try to have a repeat of last time. Okay. Where's my other, hold on, you guys. Are you asking if Danny was a Taurus? Because no, oh, excuse me. My ex was a Libra. My ex was a Libra, and like I said, they're very big on keeping up appearances. Very, very big. So you would just never know, like, you would never, half the shit I'm saying, like, a lot of, when it comes to Libras don't get a bad rep for, you know, their personality or anything like that. Like, a lot of the time when you hear about Libras, you only hear about, like, how charming they are and how nice they are. And again, this is more so the men I'm talking about. Not saying the women are perfect, because the women can be very, very manipulative too. Don't get me wrong. I have enough Libra women in my life to know this. But when I say enough, I mean, y'all, I'm literally a Libra magnet. Like, I interact the most with Libras, Virgos, and Aquariuses. Those are the 3 signs that I always tend to meet and that I always tend to gravitate towards. So in my life, like, that's what I get a lot of. Where's my other little thing? Hold on, y'all. But yeah, also, I don't want y'all to think that this is one of those, like, oh, like, I know your sign, now I know everything about you that's possibly could be known about you, because this is not that. I'm just more so, when I'm speaking on signs, I'm speaking out more of, like, the more general characteristics across the board, because I do feel like all the signs tend to have characteristics that are more kind of common across the board. And then there are things that are more specific to, like, your rising sign, your moon sign, like, stuff like that. But there are some stuff where I'm like, okay, like, that's kind of general. Anyway, okay, so back to what I was saying. He would always make me feel like real bad about social media, try to make it seem like I was just this shallow ass human being. He like, you are just so shallow, you're so this, you're so that, like, all you care about is, like, you don't care about anything. And then he would always try to make me feel stupid too, because he'd be like, oh, like, you don't, he would tell me sometimes, he'd be like, I know more than you, I'm smarter than you, you know, you don't, okay, there we go. He like, you don't read, you don't do this, you don't do that, and I'm just like, just because we're interested in different things, like, for me, I'm more of a audio person, and I'm very visual. So as a kid, I used to like to sit down and read a lot, and I still like to, I still love to learn. Like, I still like to get information. I like to learn about new things. But when I tend to learn about new things, I tend to get my information from podcasts, or if it's a book, it's an audio book. I don't, you know, sit there and physically turn the pages, or I'll look it up on YouTube, or, you know, stuff like that. Like, I'm more like audio and visual. Like, I'm not, you know, audio visual, sorry, goddamn, like, the fuck. But yeah, he would always basically tell me, like, how much smarter he was than me and stuff like that. Then he also, so I remember when we would argue, and this will be something I used to never say either, because again, I was trying to protect this person and their image at one point for a long time. We would argue, and if depending on how heated it would get, if there was something of value to me, I would have to hide it, because he would break it or try to break it. Especially when it came to my makeup. I was doing makeup full time. I was freelancing. He would take there were multiple times, y'all, my makeup kits. He would empty them out across the whole floor, smash things against the wall, slam them on the floor, all types, like, like, my makeup kit was very, very big. And stop, Remy. Girl, you always wait until I get on YouTube and then you want to start cutting up. You've been sitting here chilling all day. Remy. Stop messing with my stuff. Y'all know from watching my live, she do this every time. This girl has been asleep all day, and as soon as I get on a live, she wants to cut up and be in the corner trying to chew on shit. Um, this damn cat. Anyway, so what was I saying? Oh yeah. Okay, so he would break my makeup stuff. I remember there was an occasion where I had this really expensive wig, and he tore the wig in half. He was very physically fit. I'll give him that. He tore that wig clean in half, y'all. Y'all know how hard it is to tear some damn lace in half? To sit there and really like the fabric and everything to tear like a wig in half, y'all. So I remember that time he tore that in half, and I was like, why would you do that? It was like, that was expensive. Like, why would you da da da? He tore that bitch in half. And he would always thrash my stuff. If I had containers, and I would have containers of makeup. He would smash and thrash all them shits, and I would have clients come in the next day or whatever, so I would spend the night cleaning up my makeup, trying to make it presentable, trying to make it look like, you know, all hell hadn't broke loose. And mind you, even in my maddest at this, Grammy, stop! Y'all, feel like I'm like a badass fucking cat. Get off my shit. Girl. I'm sorry, y'all. Not me showing my ass for a second on YouTube. I love you, but you be working my last nerve sometimes. And you always wait until I'm live. Bro. I'm about to get her some of that kitty crack, that catnip. So she can be trying to get that out versus trying to be in my shit. But anyway, yeah, always breaking my stuff. I'll be trying to clean up, make it look presentable, make it look like I hadn't got all my shit ruined. And the thing was, no matter how mad I would get at him, when I would like say I would even, mind you, no, I can't even put that in a scenario, because no matter how mad I would get at him, I would not touch his shit. Because my mentality was always, I'm not touching anything or breaking anything that I'm not about to replace. So why am I about to be trying to break your stuff? No matter how mad I got at him, my instinct was never to go for any of his stuff. His stuff was safe. Even when he would be fucking up my shit, I still wouldn't go and be trying to fuck up his shit. Because I'm like, what's the point? We live together, bro. My shit has to be around you 24/7, and your shit has to be around me 24/7. Why are you going to be in here tearing up shit? We live together. And neither one of us can afford to, at the time, break the lease. So what is the point of you being in here cutting up like this? Anyway, so he would always, you know, he would do that or whatever, a lot of that. And it would literally look like a fucking, it would look like a tornado went through the room. All you would see was all my shit all over the floor, and I would have to spend the whole fucking night or hours cleaning it up. And the fact that I'm like, damn, like the fact that I really had to hide, like if it was important to me, I had to hide it. Don't let it be expensive. If it was expensive and we started arguing, depending on if we weren't arguing super hard, then I wouldn't go and hide shit. Because I had been with this person long enough to where I could read when it was about to escalate and how far it was about to escalate. So depending on how far it was about to escalate, I wouldn't hide my stuff. But there were times when I was like, okay, you're gonna have to hide your stuff tonight. Anything you don't want broken, you're gonna have to hide. And anything that I don't want anything broken, but anything that can be put together more easily, leave that shit out. But don't let him break the shit that's not gonna be put together easily or not gonna be put together at all. He also, y'all, I'm telling y'all, I got a list. Oh, I remember. So after the New Year's Eve party, let's rewind. After the New Year's Eve party, I had come to his place to get my stuff one day. And I remember, you know, we were arguing, and I was just like, you know, I can't remember what I was saying, but I think it was along the lines of like, I'm really like, you know, I'm done with you. I don't want to do this anymore. And at that time, I was at my breakup point. I was dead ass. Like, I was moving my shit out, everything. He was like, oh, I can have you whenever the fuck I want. Basically, not even have you. He said, I can F you whenever I want to. I'm like, what is wrong with this nigga? Like, bro, like, what is wrong with you? Like, you are just so nasty of a person. Like, just so, like, your spirit is just so dark. Like, I do not recognize you from the person I met. And I know everybody says that, but no, when I say y'all, like, this was the most, like, before he met this girl, before any of that, this was the, and I'm not saying that everything was contributed to her, because he has to take accountability too. A lot of this was just him just being a fucking asshole, being a fucking control freak, a manipulator, and an abuser. But before that first 2 years, y'all, like, he was so hippie, zen, peace, love, not argumentative, very, like, just the most, I don't know, like, docile person. Like, literally, like, he was like a butterfly or something. Like, when we first met, this man did not, like, it just was so different. Like, he just was not violent in any type of way. He wasn't, like, volatile. Even when he would get mad, it was more like, it was like passionate mad. It wasn't like, I'm trying to fuck up your shit, I'm trying to say something to make you wanna yourself. Like, it wasn't like that. But toward, like, this, after the second year was the last good year that we had out of 5. After that second year, we would argue. And when we would argue again, I've never been one of those people that's like, and I've said this before on my channel, when I argue about whatever that specific thing is. I do not pull your skeletons out of your closet. I do not pull out your deep, dark secrets. I do not, you know, I'm not about to pull out the time like you might have tried to end it all. That's not what I'm about to pull up if we're arguing. That is not relevant. That is not something I would ever use as ammo, because that's something that you told me in confidence, and that's something that I know hit you deep to get to that point. I would not bring that up. I wouldn't try to bring up your past family traumas, period. I would not bring up none of that stuff. I don't believe, I know some people, oh, I hit below the belt. I do not believe in that. I'm not finna, if I'm arguing with you, I'm calculated enough of an argumentative person that when I argue with you, I can get what I need to get done as far as getting under your skin without, I'm not bringing up your kids. I'm not bringing up your childhood traumas. If it's not relevant, I'm not bringing it up. Because I grew up with a parent that would hit very low below the belt. So I know what that's like to grow up with that. I don't argue like that. That's just not me, never been me. I don't do that. I don't believe in it. But him, oh, he didn't give a damn. He would try to say, like, he would literally try to say, and this is not me trying to be like, oh, woe is me, I just never did anything, I was so perfect in this relationship. But there was a blatant difference between how hard he would go and how reasonable and how, like, what would I say? He was always the aggressor. Like, he was always the aggressor, and I was always the one that was like, bro, like, I'm not trying to argue. Like, can we not do this? Like, I don't want to argue with you. Like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I don't want to argue with you. Like, I'm not trying to go here today. Like, I don't want my stuff fucked up. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. He was always the aggressor, bro. Like, there were very few times that I started the argument until he started cheating. Then it was, like, more so, I would say, and even then, I can't even say it was more so me. Then it just became 50-50. But he was, like, always just so aggressive. And honestly, behind closed doors, like, again, this just shows, like, people be having two completely different faces. Because, y'all, when I say literally this man was the same man where if his friends would piss him off, if anybody on the outside world would piss him off, he did not like confrontation. He would not say anything. He would just let them walk all over him. He would not say shit. He would not say shit. But if I did the slightest thing to irritate him, to convenience him, in his eyes, anything, he would let my ass have it. And I was the only one. To anybody else, whoever would have known this man, you would think he was the most non-confrontational, like, minimal argumentative person ever on this planet. But me, boy, I used to be in that bitch like, here it go. I hope nobody piss him off, because if they piss him off, he not gonna take it to them. He damn sure gonna take it to me. I'm the punching bag. I was always the punching bag. I was the one he could belittle. I was the one he could degrade. I was the one who he knew enough of my business to throw it in my face. And he would always do that. He would love taking stuff I told him and waiting until like my lowest moment, and then he would throw it in my face. And then play victim. It was always you. It was always, I wasn't doing enough, I wasn't doing this, I wasn't doing that. And he would do a lot of projecting onto me as far as like not feeling where he wanted to be in his life. So he would project that onto me so bad. So y'all, like, so my ex was, I'm a very type B person, and to this day I'm very scared to date type A people again because of my experience with this person. My ex was very type A, and I don't feel like he was naturally type A. I think he was very type A in order to feel in control of his life, because he did not feel in control because he wanted to, he saw his life being different, and he wanted his life to be in a different space than it was. And instead of accepting that, and you know, it just, instead of accepting that, it was more so, y'all, let me tell y'all, I could not, and my friends always say this too, so like anybody who knew our relationship knows I'm not capping. I could never relax. I could not have a moment of relaxation. Don't let me dare be. I remember I went through a very intense depressive episode, and he did not lay off me not one time when I was going through that episode. It was always, why don't you want to do anything? You could be getting this done, you could be getting that done. All you want to do is lay in bed all day. All you want to do is do this and do that, and you just don't want to do anything. You're just lazy as fuck. You don't have any ambition. Mind you, I'm like, why are you not asking me why I haven't showered in 2 days? Why are you not asking me why it's been a whole day and I haven't eaten shit? And I love food. I eat. Why are you not asking me why I have not eaten all day? It's going on a day and a half. I ain't ate shit. Why are you not asking me why I just slept for 13 hours? You know? Instead, you over here, like, you not getting shit done all this time you spending in the bed. You could have done this, or you could have done that. And it's like, clearly I'm going through something, because this is not no regular, just like, oh, like, I'm just being lazy in the bed, like, this is my off day. This was no regular shit. I was going through it, and he refused to see that I was going through it. To him, it was laziness and lack of ambition. It was always, I just don't understand why I had to be doing something 24/7 for him to feel like I was utilizing my time correctly. I was making progress with it. Mind you, at the time, I was in school and I was working 2 jobs. I'm in school and I'm working 2 jobs. And you over here, oh, you don't want to do this, you don't want to do that. You never want to do anything. I'm tired. I'm tired and I'm depressed. And I got you not letting me breathe. Like, literally, like, it would be, and then not only would it be like you're not doing anything, he only deems certain things worthy of, like, it, I don't want to explain it. It was like, it was only worthy of me doing it if it was certain things. Like, if it was like things to better yourself, like, oh, like, why aren't you reading a book right now? Why aren't you working out or going to the gym? Why aren't you eating, you know, why do you want a snack right now? You should be eating, like, very just like trying to control what I ate, everything, like, stuff like that. Like, very like super analytical about the foods I was eating and whether they were healthy or not, or this, that, and the third. And to this day, it has scarred me so bad that there's still, like, when I grocery shop now, y'all, when I say I have a lot of healing to do from this relationship, like, this past 2 years have been me trying to just forgive and heal, because this person really fucked me up. So even to this day, when I go grocery shopping, I still, like, part of it is because, like, naturally it was just easy for me to eat healthy because I don't like red meat a whole lot. Like even as a kid, I never really just, it wasn't my thing. So it wasn't that it was hard to eat healthy. It was just the fact that I had somebody trying to force me to the point where, like, even if I wanted like a fucking bag of chips, it was an issue. If I wanted a dessert or something sweet, it was an issue. It was like, why would you want that? Like, da, da, da. Like, I'm like, we eat healthy all the time. I can't have a piece of fucking, I don't know, a bag of chips, a pack of Gushers. God damn. Shit. I used to be getting roasted, boy, and I would get roasted to the point where, like, now I'm scared. I'm scared to date a type A person again because of what I experienced. But I'm also scared to date men now who are very physically fit. And that doesn't mean like I just like to date men that just like don't give a fuck about themselves, but just the ones that scream like 12 packs, super swole, I go to the gym 4 times a day. I wouldn't want to date that anyway, but just the ones who I can tell like are very, very, very like being fit and being in the gym are very important to them. I kind of be like, oh, like, I don't know if I want to do that, because you have some of these guys who they'll respect the fact that you're not like that. And you have some guys who resent you for the fact that you're not like that. And I feel like majority of these guys are on the latter than the, than the first end. And he was that. Like, it was like he would resent the fact that I wasn't into the same things as him versus just accepting the fact, like, there are plenty of people where, like, when they say opposites attract, there are plenty of people who are in successful, functioning relationships, happy relationships, where both parties might not be into all the same things, And I used to tell him that. I was like, just because we're not particularly into all the same things does not mean that we can't have a functioning, healthy relationship. I just wish that you would stop resenting me for not necessarily being into the same things as you, because it's not even like I wasn't into the same things as him and I would put off the things that he was into. I enjoyed the things that he was into. I just personally didn't like to do them. So if he would come up to me and he would show interest in something and be telling me about, he would tell me about books he was reading, and the topics that he would like to read about weren't stuff that I like to read about, that I find interesting. But if he would come and he would be like, oh, I'm reading this book, I'm working on this right now, and I'm learning this and this and that from it, it was interesting to me because I'm like, oh, I can tell you really like this. Like, like I would listen and I wouldn't be like, I would not be bored to listen. I would just be like, oh, like, I'm not going to go read the book, but I'm glad that you're enjoying this book. And this is some cool shit that you're learning from the book. Like, that's dope, but to him, it would just be like, oh, like, you should want to read this book, or you should, like, why is it that I want to educate myself and you don't, da, da, da. And mind you, we wanted to educate ourselves in different things. I like social issues, things like that. I'm not really big on, science shit. Anything science related is not my vibe. I was not good at science in school. I don't like science. Science does not interest me. But that does not mean if I have a partner and science interests them and they want to tell me about science, or 48 Laws of Power was one. He liked all those self-help books, that all the super fucking, let me tell you, these self-help books are not gonna help y'all. All these books that people are like, oh, like, if you read this, you'll change your life and you'll never think like the same and you'll be a billionaire in 2 nights after you finish the last page. Bro, no, it does not work like that. But people think they are so above everybody else in the world because they read these, like, the fucking 10 books that all niggas think that if you read these 10 books, you're like that nigga. Like, the fucking, it's like the same ones, bro. Like the 48 Laws of Power, fucking, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, fucking, what else do they like to read? It's always the same books, bro. It's like all niggas got the same book list that they all gave each other. Bro, dead ass, like, it's just so annoying. And I'm just like, just shit like that, bro. Yeah, Art of War, some of them, The Alchemists, they just, the Secret, they be on all that shit. It's like the evil nigga book list, like, dead ass. It's like this. If your nigga has read this book, he is probably a fucking covert narcissist. Dead ass. Evil nigga book club. That's what I'm gonna call it. The evil nigga book club. The evil niggas read the same fucking books. The emotionally unavailable evil nigga book club. And they think, bro, I swear to God, they think they're above everybody because they read them shits. They think they are above everybody. It's some people who read these books and are normal human beings, okay? They read them, they're like, oh yeah, I learned a lot from the book or whatever. It was cool. You know, I would recommend it, but if you're not into that, that's cool too, whatever. They keep it pushing. But then you have people that are like, I am God's favorite. I am above you. You should bow down to me because I read this fucking book. And because you didn't read this fucking book, you just mentally could never be on the same shit that I'm on. Like, we will never have anything to talk about because your mental capacity just doesn't match mine, and it damn near does not exceed it. I'd be like, boy, calm down. Like, it's always like, I swear, niggas read like those same 10 books and they think they are just so above you, and you could never have a thoughtful, educated, intelligent conversation with them because you didn't read it. It's like, if you haven't read these books, you are not an intelligent individual, so fuck you. I cannot converse with you because you have not read these books. I'm like, oh my God. Ugh, literally. Anyway. But yeah, he would just be like very like again, he would tell me, he'd be like, I'm smarter than you, like da da da, like I'm this, I'm that. Just very nasty towards me, like y'all know that ass. Dead ass. What else? Am I missing anything else? Oh, okay. No, I have two more things that I didn't touch on outside of this nigga never letting me fucking y'all. When I say, okay, no, actually I'm gonna go into this a little deeper because dead ass, it was to the point, like, again, he was not necessarily where he wanted to be. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you know, at the time we were fucking, I was 25, he's 27. I think everybody feels like 25 and up is this magical time period where we was gonna have shit all the way figured out, and we don't. I'll be 28 this year. I'm still trying to figure out shit. And I'm not projecting onto the next person and pissed at the world because I don't have it figured out. I'm just like, you know what? I'm like, damn. Wish I had the answers. I'm just kind of, you know, freeballing it through life. No draws right now. Shit, it is what it is. Got to see it through, my boy. That's really just how I think of shit. Like, I'm not over here like, oh, I'm not where I want to be right now, so everybody around me needs to be on their fucking P's and Q's because I'm gonna make their life fucking hell because I'm not, you know. But I've never been a projector. Like, I've never been one of those people. Even when I, like, if I get mad at a function, I remove myself, I go home. I'm not one of those people that wants everybody around me to feel some type of way. Like, I'm not one of those people that is like, oh, I don't, you know, I feel a type of way today, so everybody around me must suffer. Like, no, I feel some type of way. I know I'm about to be a buzzkill right now, and not even a buzzkill off of, like, me trying to be a buzzkill. I just know, like, I'm about to be really low energy. I'm probably going to be pretty quiet, so maybe let me not bring myself around people today because it's going to kill the vibe. Like, I'm not one of those people that wants to intentionally kill the vibe. So, anyway, y'all, when I say I could not lay down for even 20 minutes. I had to always be doing something. It was always like, it was just, oh my God. He was always comparing me to his mom too, because his mom is very like, some people are different. Some people can get off of a 12-hour, 14-hour work shift and still want to do hellish shit and, you know, just be mad productive. And that is cool. Then you got other motherfuckers like me, and if I'm going to be off a 12-hour work shift, I don't want to do shit after that. Well, sometimes I do. Sometimes I'll be on my crackhead energy shit and I'll still want to do shit. But I would say majority of the time, I just want to chill. If I'm tired, I just want to chill. I'm not finna force myself to burn through all my energy. Not now, it's back, Sunny. Boy, how dare you, weather. I'm just not about to do all that. And it got so stressful because it was literally always like why don't you want to go work out? Why don't you want to, you know, read this book? Or why don't you want to be doing this yoga? Or why don't you want to, and I'm just like, it's not that I don't necessarily, because like yoga, I feel like it's cool. It's not like my favorite thing in the world, but you know, it's cool. I do it. But you make it so miserable to even want to do it because you are so very much like, hold on, y'all. Remy doing her. She finna throw up. Go to the box, girl. Y'all, I swear she waits until I'm on live to start cutting up. Every time. Every fucking time. I hope y'all don't hear that. Not you is throwing up over here. Child. She made it to the litter box. I swear, every time. Y'all. Please leave a cat emoji if you feel like Remy be hating on my lives. Please. Because this cat, y'all, she has been chilling all day. All day. Sleep. Slumped. Now she wildin'. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I could never just relax. I'm having trouble thinking of examples now because it's been so long. But, girl, she thrown up because she do what these cats be doing, and she likes to chew on shit she ain't got no business chewing on, and then she hacks it up later. Whether it be if there is a piece of hair on the floor, she likes to chew on that, and then she be coughing up a hairball. But lately, her thing is she likes to chew on plastic. So anything that is low enough for her to get to it, if it is plastic, and I try to strategically place things so that she can't get to it, but somehow she... Animals be having their slow moments, but when it comes to something they want to chew on, boy, that's when they Albert Einstein in that bitch. Albert Einstein. I'm like, Lord Jesus, any other time you be acting slow, but as soon as it's time to figure out how to chew on this plastic, I done hid from your ass. Now all of a sudden you goddamn smart guy in this motherfucker. Like, but yeah, she like to chew on plastic and then go throw it up later. That's basically what's going on. But no, so like he would do that. I could never relax. I could never rest. I could never have a moment of peace. And it got to the point where, like, I don't know if any of y'all have experienced. I have a friend who's experienced this in childhood where she had a parent who, like, always felt like she got to be doing something. Like, if she was sitting down, it was an issue because it just, that parent always felt like you need to be doing something. If you're not doing something, like, I just don't understand. That's how he was, very much so. And again, it was him projecting onto the fact that he felt like he was doing things and nothing was enough. So he always felt like he had to be doing more. And then you look at me and I have a path, I have a direction, I'm doing stuff and it's working out for me. So you're pissed and you're projecting onto me. I remember also, so he told, this is, again, these are not in chronological order and some of these are stuff that occurred just throughout. He told when it came to me moving back from New York, which, again, if y'all followed my story times, you know why I moved back. I know some people don't know why I moved back the first time. So I was in New York in 2019. I was up here for 6 months. I moved back because this man literally was like, you know, I want to make things work. Like, da-da-da, let's work on our relationship. I miss you. We were talking really heavy. We were, at that time, we were the best that we had been in, like, a year or so. So I was like, oh, you know, like, it felt like we were back in the honeymoon phase. I'm not even gonna lie. So I got stupid. And he had flown up here. He helped me move to my second apartment. But also while he was up here, it was like, you know, it was just like, I really miss you. Like, you know, we'll do it. Like, it was nice. It was like, I really miss you. So I came back down to North Carolina. And when I came back down to North Carolina, I did not know that I was coming back down to the fact that this man had told everybody, because at this time he had started messing with the girl. So he had told the girl and his friends in order to justify him messing with the girls, or the chin, in order to justify him messing with the chin, he told everybody that I was doing bad financially in New York, which was not the case. He told everybody that I was doing that, basically that I was down bad. I need a place to stay because New York was too expensive and I had to come back home. And that's why I was coming back home. So basically he told everybody I was homeless and broke, and that's why I came back to North Carolina, and that's why I was staying with him. What? My boy, after you came up and begged me and literally, I'm not even gonna go into detail because I'm not even that type. I'm not even gonna do you like that. But I'm like, after you came up here and did all that just to get me to come back down south, just to lie to everybody and tell them that that my reasoning was because I was broke and homeless, when I had a nice ass apartment and I had my bread was straight. But anyway, so I did it. And then y'all already know, like, when I came back to North Carolina, that was when all the drama being a girl happened, whatever. And then also he had, I don't know if I mentioned this too on when I was talking about I think maybe when I was talking about part 2, or maybe no, maybe this was part 1. I cannot remember. Again, it's been a long time since I told the story. If y'all haven't seen it, it's on my channel. But he had told the girl, I remember it was my birthday weekend, y'all. It is my birthday weekend, and you know, I'm having a great time. We're all out, whatever. And then the girl, of course, because her favorite thing to do was wait until holidays and send me shit. She had sent me screenshots of him basically saying like, oh, basically she was mad that, again, the side bitch was mad that me, his whole ass girl, who he lives with, she was mad that he was out with me for my birthday. And I guess, you know, she was texting like, oh, like, you know, see, I told you that y'all were gonna be out together. And it's like, yeah, you dumb bitch, duh. The fuck? What did you we live together, it's my birthday, and this has been my nigga for 5 years, bro. Like, I'm the whole ass girlfriend. Like, what did you think? Girl, yeah, okay, so y'all do remember, so I did say it. Who was that who said that? Sam Black said, didn't she say this is my favorite because it's your birthday? Yeah, she said something along the lines of this is my favorite, this one's from your birthday. It was something like that. So she was like, in the text message is him, and he's like, oh, you know, I'm out with her, but I wish it was you. He was like, I've been without her before, in reference to me. He's like, I've been without her before, talking about when I was in New York. And I was fine. Mind you, you're fine, but you call my phone 40, 50 times because you think that I'm out with guys while I'm up here. You're blowing up my phone and accusing me every other day of fucking with my coworkers at my bartending job. You're literally just constantly like, oh, you're up in New York, you're dating, you're doing this, you're doing that. And mind you, I wasn't hiding it because at the time I was dating and stuff, because before I left from New York, this nigga was hell to me. He was very nasty to me and very disrespectful, and made it clear that he did not want to be with me. But then as soon as I leave, all of a sudden you're back madly in love and you take it all back, whatever. Anyway, so he had told her like, oh yeah, like, you know, I wish it was you and whatever and all this other stuff. And was like basically just flexing on me. Honestly, sometimes I'll be wanting to post these stories on, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Again, I keep it very candid on here. I'm a very transparent person, and I feel like a lot of these influencers be trying to make y'all forget they're human, and I'm human as fuck over here, so I'm gonna be the first one to tell y'all. I'll be tempted some days, because again, this is not something I think about a lot, but if I'm going through TikTok or social media or something and I see something where somebody's talking about their experiences and I can relate, I swear some days I'd be so tempted to tell the story on TikTok, because I be noticing y'all on TikTok don't give a fuck about showing people real faces, they pictures and stuff. Boy, when I say there have been some days where I be like, boy, I really would like to put this on TikTok and just show y'all who the fuck I be talking about. But then I'm like, I'm not even gonna do it to them, because I'm just not the type of people that I want to have access to one day and be in circles with. I don't want to ever come off as like, oh, like she's messy, so let me make sure that like I act just like I don't act like myself around her, because it'll end up online somewhere. That's the only thing saving their asses. Boy, that is the only thing saving their asses, is that I be thinking about about my future, especially that bitch. That'd be the only thing saving Shorty and him. Cause I would have been put their faces all up on that shit. Anyway, and that's just facts. This is me being real as fuck. But yeah, no, I think that's everything. Well, I'm sure it's not everything, but that's everything I remember. That's everything that I haven't repressed so damn far that I can't remember. But yeah, I was in a very, very toxic, emotionally abusive relationship. I was literally, that man broke down my self-esteem so bad by the end of that relationship that I was just like, nobody is ever gonna want me again. Like, I'm not, mind you, I'm not an ugly person on the inside or the outside. So for me to be walking around feeling like, oh, nobody's ever gonna want me, nobody's ever gonna be loyal to me, nobody's ever gonna respect me, nobody's ever gonna love me for real, it's like, imagine how much it takes for somebody to break you down to that point. To that point where you are so emotionally scarred that every person you interact with afterward, it's like there's no point in me really interacting with them, because this is not going to be something long term, because they're going to do some shit, you know. Yeah, oh my god, that's what Common Collective said. They literally pick you apart. He would pick me apart and analyze the fuck out of me almost on the daily. It was always something. He would pick me apart so bad. I was constantly being compared to, and this is another thing when it comes to like the holistic yoga crowd and stuff like that. That's another reason that I'm kind of like, just because somebody doesn't put on their social media that they're into certain things does not mean that they would be closed off to them. It does not mean they don't do those things, and it does not mean that they are or aren't a better person than the next person. So me, I like outdoorsy stuff. I love going hiking. I like horseback riding. We can go camping. We can go, I know how to golf. We can go fucking boating. We can go fishing. We can do anything under the sun, because I'm an adventurous ass person. But if you look at my social media, you wouldn't be able to tell that just off my social media. Then you got the girls who their whole social media, their whole brand is, oh, I do yoga, I'm very zen, I'm very this, I'm very that. And I think people oftentimes forget that you can still be those things even if it's not on your social media, or even if you don't present a certain way. Because I feel like even off the way that I present, people just assume that I wouldn't be into certain shit sometimes, or that I don't do certain shit or whatever. And that isn't the case. But now, because I've had somebody who picked me apart like that and was always comparing me to the IG yoga zen girls that fucking are vegan and I don't know, just very like hippie. Like I journal a lot. Do I put it on my social media? No. But I was always getting compared to the girls that do put that stuff on their social media. So like the hippie yoga journal girls, like y'all know the type I'm talking about. Like, there's nothing wrong with them presenting that way, them being like that way, but that does not automatically make them good people. Does not automatically make them good people. Oh my gosh, like some people just take social media way too seriously, and now because of that, like I naturally tend to gravitate towards men that are kind of like more like, I don't know, like their lifestyle is more like holistic hippie type thing, because naturally that's how I am. But I don't present like that. But that's how I am. I'm very much so like, I'm into holistic stuff. I'm very into spiritual things. I'm very into um just natural ways of doing things. Like I'm very into that shit, you know? So I don't like being judged as if like, oh, well, you don't present like I don't know, Janae Aiko or fucking, who's like hippie that I can think of who like fits the hippie look? Because even Janae Aiko doesn't necessarily fit like the hippie look. I can't think of anybody, but basically, yeah, I just, when it comes to guys who are into that stuff, I'm intimidated now because I be feeling like, oh, like if I don't present a certain way, that they're going to basically tear me to shreds and analyze every last part of me and why I'm not like that. Yeah, like Erica Badu, or like the, no, not even Kehlani, because Kehlani doesn't even really fit that aesthetic that the men I'm talking about. More so, I'm talking about the men who like to date the girls who their whole timeline looks like a Pinterest yoga timeline. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the tattoo girls. I'm talking about the girls who um I'm talking about, like, if you were to think white girl yoga, Starbucks getting white girl. That's what I'm talking about. No, not even SZA, because SZA would be somebody who you can tell she's into that, but her brand doesn't present as like hippie type. Yeah, like the van girls. That's what I more so mean. Yes, like the van girls, like the ones that be living out of vans and stuff, which I think is so dope. I would definitely do van life 100%. Again, I'm into these things, but I don't present like that. Like, I would be 100% like, hey, if I wouldn't do it permanently, but if somebody was like, you trying to go live out of a van for 3 months and just kind of travel around everywhere, I'd be like, fuck yeah, that sounds cool as hell. I want to go to the beach, the mountains, all that. I want to go see all the little sights and stuff. I want to fucking put firewood together and make s'mores. I'm into all that. I don't have to prove it on my social media that I'm into it. You can get to know me and ask me. It does not mean just because I'm not fucking, just because I don't fucking have, my whole timeline is what is it, fucking yoga brand clothing, and I'm, just because my timeline isn't me in fucking yoga wear and doing different poses, or in the gym 5 times a week, or vegan, yeah, Miley Cyrus, like stuff like that, like totally vegan, like or my timeline isn't me out in nature, does not mean I don't like those things. Is thank you, just Katie. If you really love somebody, you don't try to change them. It's overused to say, but still true. That is very true. I used to always tell him, I used to always be like, why can't you just take me as I am? Like, you're always trying to change me, you're always trying to make me something I'm not. And I was like, I don't try to change you. But when I would say I don't try to change you, he would take that as, because you don't have anything to change. I don't have anything that needs to be changed. I'm like, no, there are things that I can think of that I don't necessarily, they're not my favorite, but I love you as a person, so I'm not, that it doesn't bother me. Y'all, when I said this man had me going through it, oh my God, going through it. Was he an earthy guy? Yeah, he was a very like earthy, spiritual at first. When he started going out and partying a lot and doing the drugs and stuff, like, he got a lot less like that. um Again, this was a man who was very big on like how you treat people, like, karma, doing the right thing, keeping your word. As soon as he started going out and partying and doing the drugs and stuff, he was like, he literally said, he was like, I'm above karma. I'm a good person, so karma's not gonna come to me. Basically, for all the shit that he was doing, he was like, karma's not gonna come to me. Like, I'm fine. And that's never something that ever would have come out of his mouth beforehand. So that's when I was like, I don't recognize this person anymore. To say you're above the fucking laws of karma, you're above the laws of the universe. But then again, I guess I shouldn't be surprised, because you running around with a bitch who thinks she's above the laws of the universe as well. And, you know, thinks that she can alter people's free will. And, you know, she's above divine timing. So I guess I shouldn't have been surprised. But I was just like, yo, like, it was just surprising to me based off of, like, what this person was like before. Like, literally, if y'all just would have seen what this person was like before, you would never believe anything I just said in this live. There's no way. And I understand that that is why the people that he is surrounded by, I'm pretty sure probably do not believe anything. If they've seen these lives or anything, or these story times, I'm pretty sure they probably don't believe them, because literally, if you only got the side of him that was like the nice guy side, there's no way in fuck you would ever believe this. There's no way. There's literally no way. This was two completely different people. Like, he could just turn it on and off. And then it's also crazy because I remember, mind you, people don't know I know this, but I don't know. I just be knowing shit. It's crazy how things played out, because probably roughly 4 years ago, I had my first reading with my spiritual advisor, who had told me, this is just a tiny bit off topic, because again, this whole live, the purpose was like, when did you realize that he hated you and opened up about the, you know, just a verbal abuse, emotional abuse I was going through. That is why, honestly, I was not posting a lot in 2020 at all. I was going through it. I was heavily going through it. And I have not been able to, until recently, I haven't gotten back in the mood to post, because I just needed this past year to heal. So I've been posting here and there sporadically, but I don't post nearly as much as I used to. But also that's because I just don't be fucking with social media lately. And I keep saying this, and I just don't, like, I don't know. Me and social media just don't really align like it used to. But at the same time, I'm like, but I do like making money off of it. So I'm like, let me get my shit back together. So we'll see. But anyway, basically what I was gonna say is, there was, when I got one of my first ever readings with my spiritual lady, this was roughly 4 years ago, because nothing that she said as far as what I'm about to say happened until 2 years after she told me. And I remember I kind of said part of this in my story time, but even more has played out since then. So she said, she told me that, what did she say? She told me that they would end up having that him and the girl, she told me that he was gonna cheat, and that he was gonna, you know, meet a girl, and that she was from California and all this other stuff. And she said they would end up having a boy together. They were gonna have a son together. She told me this back in, I want to say 2017, like the end of 2017, ish. It was a minute ago, because me and her were still, well, me and him were still living together and everything. Like, and this was not even the very last apartment. We were still living together in our second apartment together. The one where I did the Twin Peaks story times and stuff like that. The one with the dark gray walls. So this was way back then when I got this reading. This is my first reading ever with her, back in 2017. And she said, yeah, he's gonna meet this girl, and they're gonna have a boy together. They're gonna have a son. And literally, y'all, it's 2021. And they are, and this is not me keeping track of them. I just happen to find out. I don't want to say how, but I promise y'all, I was not like snooping, anything like that. I happened to find out. But and since then I've eliminated anything that will, okay, no, I'll just say it, whatever, fuck it. I still had a lot of, not a lot of, I took most of his friends and family off of my social medias, but I still had a couple of the people that I was really, really close with. And we would still talk, they would still check in, whatever, you know, would do. And I ended up seeing it that way. But I also was like, yo, ooh, I was like, I don't want to see anything associated with these two people. They are nasty energy, negative. Like, it's just, I'm not with it. No, my lady's name isn't Morgan. Her name is Ralisha. Um, so basically, yeah, anyway, so she told me years ago, 2017, she said they're gonna have a boy together. So I ended up seeing online that they are expecting a boy. Like, they had a gender reveal and they're you know, the girl's pregnant or whatever. And I figured, because I was like, you know, at the time everything was happening, I was like, as crazy as this girl already was to put witchcraft on him and show the places like that she would show up and everything like that, and in the end, for them to, he ended up moving in with her or whatever, which I had said in my story time too. I already knew. I was like, this girl's gonna trap him. So that, honestly, when I said that was not a surprise to me at the fuck all, I was like, yeah, this girl's gonna trap him. There's literally, like, there's no way. Like, after all of this, I was like, after all of this, bro, I would be crazy to think that a girl that would go this hard to get this person and force them their way into their lives, and then, you know, do like spiritual warfare on them in order to keep them. There's no way that, you know, them trapping somebody with a baby would be like beneath them. You know what I mean? So yeah, but I already know that that child is gonna be their karma. And that's not me. I would never wish bad on anybody's child. Like, I hope they have a healthy, happy child. But I know that having a child is going to be their karma. And when I say I found that out and I was so happy, I was like, Danny and Shin are having a baby. Danny and Crimson Shin. And I was so happy when I found out. I was ecstatic. I'm not even gonna lie, y'all. I was not sad, no nothing. I said, ooh, yes. Sam Black, how do you know she did witchcraft and that he's not just as messy as her? You have to go back and either watch my story times or go back to the middle of this live, because I already said all that. You guys can get a reading from Alicia. She's really good. She's actually doing a sale right now. On her, through her app, well, through her scheduling app, she's doing a sale. So if y'all want to get readings from my spiritual advisor, I will link, I speak on her all the time because she's really awesome. I really love her. I will link her stuff in the description box down below when I'm done with this live. And then also, if you go on my Instagram, for anybody who can go on Instagram right quick right now, her Instagram name is, what is it? I always get the numbers mixed up. It's 0278 Morgan is her Instagram name. 0278 Morgan. I want to say, I don't think it's any underscores or anything like that. She's very good. She's a medium as well. But yeah, it's just crazy because I've known for 4 years that this was gonna happen. Not the cheating and stuff, because honestly, again, if y'all have seen my story times, when I got that first reading, I was like, after it didn't happen the first year, I was like, oh, okay, like maybe she was wrong or whatever. And mind you, this is my first reading with her, so I didn't have experience with the fact that, trust me, she don't be missing. She do not be missing. So the first year passed, I said, oh, maybe she's wrong, like da-da-da, maybe that's not the case. Second year passed, I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe that's not the case, whatever. Y'all, That going into that 3rd year, that's when shit really started to hit the fan. And now we're, you know, it's been 4 years since she told me, and it's literally, it's playing out just like she said. But how you get them is how you lose them. And at this point, it's like, damn, you lose them now, you losing them with the child too. I can only imagine. But I'm honestly, what I can say off of all this is, after coming to the terms with the fact that my relationship was extremely toxic and emotionally and verbally abusive, I'm so glad that I did not have a kid with this person. I am so glad. I am so, so glad. Children are blessings, don't get me wrong. I'm so glad it wasn't me. I hate how this one side always likes to try to bunch up. Okay, let me fix the leaf. But yeah, y'all, that is my story as far as like my very toxic, very abusive relationship. No, I normally do use spray, but the only thing is, like, everything else will stay detangled. This side right here, on top of this shoulder, always make sure to get back tangled. Like, this side, I'm gonna be able to go the rest of the day and, you know, minimal having to detangle it again. This side is gonna get wild. Just Katie said, did you ever really consider marrying him, or had a feeling it wouldn't last? I'm not gonna lie. I die hard thought I was gonna marry this person. I thought this was the person I was gonna spend the rest of my life with. I thought this was my soulmate. I was like, I never, again, when things were good, y'all, I had never had anybody who knew me as well as this person did. Which also, I think that's what made it so easy for him to hurt me as much as he did, because he knew me so well. Um, so yeah, I 100%. I thought this was the person I was going to be with for the rest of my life. I was very madly in love. I just knew that we were going to have kids and get married and have a family and all that. And that just was not in the cards. Literally. Meg Cassie 83 said, I have a wedding dress in my closet still. Oh, damn. You about to get married? I'm reading through some of these comments right now. Oh, you guys are leaving some nice comments. Not Sam Black said his temper mixed with her chin, boy. I'm screaming. I hate you guys. Honestly, that probably is going to be a very interesting looking child, but I will not know because it ain't none of my fucking business. Let me see. Lady AC said her advisor was completely on point. Kudos to her. Ooh, and you commented at 5:55. Oh, and it's got 222 likes in here. Well, 222 people in here. Yeah, I'm just gonna say this before I go too. I've been seeing a lot of like, I catch 11:11 daily at this point. 1:11, 2:22, 3:33, 4:44, 5:55 are the numbers that I keep seeing every single day. In some aspect, in some way, at some point through my day, I see them every day. Lately, yeah, they're angel numbers 100%. And I go through these phases where sometimes I see them a lot. Oh, and 12:12, or I'll see. I don't know if some of y'all have heard of this, where they say if you see your birthday. So for me, I was born December 13th. So I'll see it'll be 12:13 on the clock. Um, I go through these phases where sometimes I will see them a lot, and then sometimes I won't kind of see them for a little while, and then other times I'll see them a lot. So right now I've been in this phase of like the past, I would say like the past 3 weeks. Actually no, man, I'll say the past month. The past month I've been seeing angel numbers very, very heavily. Very, very heavily. So I'm just like, oh yes, like hope something good is coming. But yeah, you guys, I know this live is pretty long. I don't want to make it, it's already long. I told you I don't want to make it too long. Girl, this thing is already 2 hours, child. Yes, this live is mad long, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you guys for listening and tuning in. Yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. And thank you for listening to my long-winded ass mouth. I love you guys. I'm about to put on some lip gloss and maybe make some TikToks because I look cute now. And I gotta put some contour on my forehead because baby. But yes, okay, bye you guys. I'll see y'all. And again, this live will probably be up for the next week, or I might leave it up permanently. Who knows? And I'll link my spiritual workers stuff down below.